I just wanted to pick up again on what the ranking member said. This is an amendment about making sure that we follow ICE's own policy that it cannot detain U.S. citizens. And Mr. Liu is correct that it's batshit crazy that I got to introduce this amendment. But it is also the reality that I have to introduce this amendment because it is happening. The examples that I gave, multiple examples, and I could give you more, are happening. This is happening. ICE is detaining and deporting U.S. citizens. And so it is really important that my good colleagues on the other side vote for this amendment. And maybe I'm more hopeful for some bizarre reason than Mr. Goldman that maybe there's a couple of you that will. Maybe the chairman will. Maybe some of you will say that it is not appropriate for the Trump administration to deport U.S. citizens. Because guess what? You all represent U.S. citizens. That's who elected you. So if you vote no on this amendment, you are actually voting to be able to deport, for ICE to be able to deport your own constituents. And so I just want to remind you again, remind all of us, that the reason I'm introducing this amendment is not theoretical. It is actually happening that U.S. citizens are being detained by ICE officials in the streets by masked men, in unmarked cars, in their homes, children who are in the midst of stage 4 cancer treatments. It is remarkable that I have to say all of these examples and that I have to actually introduce this amendment. But I'm doing it because it's happening right here in the United States of America. And it's happening to your constituents. The people that are being, the U.S. citizens that are being arrested in red states and blue states, in your districts and my districts. And once again, if you can do this to one group, you can do it to any group.
Well, the gentleman yield for a question. I believe that you and I think it was 2 weeks ago, wrote a letter inquiring of ICE how many U.S. citizens had in fact been picked up, detained, and deported. And I hadn't heard anything back from that, and I'm wondering if you've heard anything back.
No, thank you. I have not received a single response to that. Maybe the chairman would help me to ensure that the Department of Homeland Security, the Trump administration, responds, because you are very powerful in your current role as chairman, and perhaps you could get an answer where the ranking member and I have not been able to. I can't imagine that anybody on the other side would want to vote no on this amendment. I really can't, because all we're talking about is ensuring that none of the funds that we are shoveling over in giant quantities to ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is used against U.S. citizens. It is actually unlawful to do that, but that doesn't seem to matter because it's happening. So I really do hope that we have many members on the other side who actually stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to fight for my U.S. citizen constituents who elected me.
Would the gentlelady yield?
Yes, I would be happy to.
I just wanted to say I think you hope in vain.
Well, here we are. Maybe somebody on the other side will prove the eternal optimist wrong, but I believe that maybe there is a moment in any country's history where the threats are so severe that the spine gets stiffened and that you realize that the enemy is yourself if you don't speak up. That the destruction of democracy happens because we allow it to happen. And I hope that my colleagues on the other side, I continue to hope that my colleagues on the other side recognize that and vote yes on this amendment.